We are Team Unbeatable, and together with our group, we were challenged with redesigning the waiting room used for youth mental health care patients for the Twente. When patients arrive, they tend to feel anxious or stressed and are prone to overthinking while waiting. The current waiting room holds people ranging from 6 to 27 years old and usually has 6 to 12 people in the waiting room. We chose to focus on the young adults between the ages of 18 and 27 as they were the most relatable target group. In order to understand the context better, we developed a persona called Jolene. Jolene is a young adult at the age of 21 who suffers from the anxiety disorder. As we can see from the patient journey map, her current experience is not very smooth. Before arriving, she already has stomach cramps, she's in a cranky mood because of the lack of caffeine, and once she arrives to the waiting room, the white walls, the no magazines, and the clock ticking doesn't make her feel comfortable in the space. With the persona and context defined, we were able to define 5 core design principles to lead our research. The first design principle was optional interaction. This means that the patient should have the control over their sensory elements. The second one was non-institutional. This means designing waiting rooms to feel warm, familiar, and welcoming rather than clinical. The third one, perceived safety, which means creating a clear, calm, and well-organized environment to enhance emotional security, trust, and perceived quality of care. The fourth one, adaptable for inclusivity, which means ensuring that the spaces can accommodate diverse sensory, cognitive, and emotional needs. Finally, multisensory balance, which means to apply sensory stimulation intentionally and moderately. This will allow to promote calmness while avoiding overstimulation and increased stress. The developed prototype is a breathing ecosystem and gentle world exploration experience. When a patient arrives to the waiting room, they can take a seat around the white coffee table. They will sit down and they will see a 3D world with moving animals. On the side of the table, there are multiple pebbles and a QR code which they can scan. After scanning the QR code, they're prompted to a page explaining that they can download an app to interact with this 3D world. The patients are then prompted to grab one of the pebbles and sync them to their phone using NFC. Once in the app, the patients can select what character they want to be. They can choose the animal, the color, and the name. Bad names are of course not allowed. After selecting the character, the animal will spawn in the 3D world and they will be able to move the character with the pebble on their hand. To discover the environment, they can use the pebble in their hand to move around the world. As they move around, the pebble will get cold if they're close to snow or water. It will get warm if they're close to a volcano or campfires, and will even vibrate slightly to follow rhythmic vibrations or if they're close to a train. The pebble will encounter slight resistance when walking into the wind or into different surfaces such as grass or gravel. When other animals come close to the character, the animal will behave calmer, which will imply gaining trust. When the users arrive to the fireplace or water, they're prompted to use their phone and will have to follow one of the breathing exercises which is prompted to them. With the design experience, Jolene now feels a lot more safe and welcome when waiting in the Twente waiting room. She now is able to feel relaxed and is able to disconnect from the outside world. Her focus on the game allows her to focus on her breathing, which makes her feel more patient and more prepared for the session to come. When they are called up, after a few minutes of not being active, the character will disconnect from the 3D environment and save itself into the database. That way, when you return to the Twente, you will still be able to use your same character. With the proposed multisensory design, the patients waiting in the Twente waiting room will now be able to have a more smooth and pleasant experience. This will ensure that they feel like they're in a safe and welcoming environment rather than feeling stressed and overwhelmed. As a final point, it is important to also add other elements to ensure a patient feels safe and welcome. These include elements such as nature noises in the background and welcoming colors such as green on their walls.